Recording. Just want to say hello to everybody and welcome you to our very first out of a series of web chats that we're going to be having across the state to talk about membership. My name is Patty Frazier. I'm currently serving as the New York State PTA Treasurer, but as part of that job, I am also the designated officer for membership. So my pleasure to be joining you tonight with the members of our membership team, and we'll be working mainly with our membership coordinator, Mary Sotomayor, who's here. And then Mary, we're going to do the team later, the rest of the team. Okay. And then I just want to welcome some of our region people that are here with us from Leatherstocking, our region director, Nicole Parada.
Hi, everybody.
The region membership chair, Renee Daniels.
Hello.
And then from Northeastern, our region membership chair, Jerry Lahane, is joining us.
Yep.
And Jerry
Hello.
also wears a couple other hats. She is also the field support coordinator for Leatherstocking and Southeastern. So she's supporting those regions as well. So she's got all the bases covered tonight.
Yes.
And I have the list of participants, but Elena, if you're on, I'm not seeing your name, but if you're one of the unnamed people, please chime in and let me know. Don't think so. Usually she pops right on. Okay, so that's who's joining us tonight. It's as some of you that were on a little bit earlier, we're going to start a presentation, but we're going to kind of keep it conversational. Feel free to put questions in the chat, and then also we're going to have time for actual questions and answers where you can unmute and we'll actually talk live. Because of the size of the group, we can do that. So without further ado, I am going to pass over to Mary Sotomayor to start the presentation.
Does everybody see my screen? All right. So we've put together here on our membership team a membership playbook. We want to go over some of the concepts in here, but as Patty said, this is really meant to be a conversation. We want feedback. Please make sure to answer or ask any questions in the chat, and we will be answering every question tonight to the best of our ability. Okay. So this is what's on the agenda tonight. We're going to be talking about some tips and tricks. We're going to be going over our PTA Facebook page and group. We're going to be talking about membership bundles, community and business membership, some ideas to grow your membership, and we'd love feedback from things that you feel that have worked for your unit. Website resources, awards, success stories, and finally, a little message from your region, just a little hello. So out of all the tips and tricks that we've been looking at and using in our own units, we felt that these work the best, especially now, the early stages of planning. So you're going to want to start running an early bird membership drive. Is there anyone on this chat that has been running or starting to plan their membership drives in their units? You can go ahead and answer in the chat. We also suggest making yard signs about joining PTA, because sometimes when things are visual and in your face, especially when you're going to the school or in the neighborhood, it keeps PTA top of mind. You're going to want to email all your past members and invite them to join. If you haven't done so, now's a really good time to make sure to let them know. We're starting school year soon. We'd love for you to support our unit. Please think about joining us and supporting our causes. You're going to want to offer membership bundles, which we're going to go over later. We also have a great tip, which is to send out surveys. Find out what it is that your unit's looking for. Your unit also comprises of some of the staff. You know, teachers have the best ideas of what works in the building, what works good for our kids, and a survey can help us to find the things that we can offer to our units that are going to help them and want to be a part of our membership. Have any of you organized a welcome back breakfast? I know those are like the best. I'm going to give a moment if anybody has done a really big welcome back breakfast that they think they'd like to share with the group. Please make sure to type it in the messages so we can chat about that as well. You can plan a social on the playground. I know a lot of us don't really know what this year is going to look like. We don't know if we're going to be able to get into the building, but we're definitely going to be walking our kids to the school. So why not plan a social so that we can at least meet and greet and say hi from 3 feet with a mask? I'm not sure how we're going to be doing it, but at least we'll be able to see each other and say hi and see what other parents are a part of your unit. You're going to want to offer, you know, like a social time for parents so that like maybe a walking club or something that gives parents that have the time and availability, maybe in the morning to meet with others or maybe at night at pickup. But again, we don't know what the parameters of acceptability are going to be next year, but based on what we've received so far, if they are at 3 feet distance and we don't need a mask outside, we may be able to do something like that. We also want to make sure that we're always a resource to parents, right? So the number one question of why should I join, you know, what is it in it? What's in it for me? There's a lot in it for them. As members, they're the first to hear about everything that's going on. You know, we won't get into politics here, but there's a lot of things that I learned about, you know, maybe a week before anybody else in my neighborhood knew about it, if not a couple of days. You also want to focus on local advocacy. You know, what's going on in your town? What is it that your group, what are your goals? What is it that your group wants to make sure that your school has? When you focus on these things together as a group and bring this to your unit, that it's a cause that they're willing to be a part of with you, and they'll become members in order to fight the same fight. Hold on a sec. Rita mentioned not yet for us. We're still waiting for the superintendent to let us know. Can you elaborate just a little bit more? I would love to get into that conversation because I'm not sure which comment that's referring to, but I'd like to help. Okay, perfect. So first up, what we're going to be talking about is our social media. Renee, are you ready to talk about this?
I am. So social media, virtual PTAing has become a thing of importance for New York State PTA. You can find us on Facebook. Our Facebook link I'll post in the chat here shortly. It's facebook.com/NYSPTA. We're also on Instagram. Instagram.com/new_York_state_PTA. We also have a phenomenal new group on Facebook, and that is NYS PTA Leaders. So make sure that when you find time later this evening, if you haven't already, go to our Facebook and Instagram pages, like, follow, and make sure you join our New York State PTA Leaders Group. Things that you can expect to see from us. Well, on our New York State PTA Facebook page and Instagram, we post helpful links for parenting ideas, summer fun, health tips, all sorts of valuable information. We also share event announcements such as our upcoming convention, which is in November. We also post our awards for monthly focuses and membership and reflections programs and other programs such as PARP. So there's a lot of helpful information on our Facebook page. In our leaders group, we just started. I believe we've been active for about a month now. There's a lot of helpful conversations on there, and these are for leaders such as yourself in New York State, connecting you with other leaders and leadership from the New York State PTA governance team. So really, really valuable information there. And there's one area that I highly suggest everybody checking out. For your own social media, I think from a membership standpoint, I would recommend looking into what this whole Facebook algorithm is, what it means, how to better boost your own Facebook page. You can definitely share anything that we put on New York State PTA's Facebook page. You can share it to your Facebook pages as well. Instead of liking posts, maybe do some posts with emojis such as the hearts. Comments are especially helpful when there are more than 5 words long. Making sure that every time somebody posts or comments on one of your Facebook posts that you respond to them. That helps drum up activity and helps the Facebook algorithm work in your favor. And 2 things I can think of really off the top of my head when it comes to membership and Facebook. If you are seeing people liking your posts and commenting, just look at your membership list and Member Hub and see if they've joined. If not, try to contact them and send them your online join link. The other piece of information would be maybe to post like this page and share this page to be entered into a giveaway, and maybe having it open to your members. Other than that, if anybody has any other valuable tips that they've found helpful with Facebook and Instagram, feel free to add that in the chat.
Renee, I love that word algorithm. It helps us so much. You know, Facebook is a living thing. And what it does is it interprets what they think you'll like and what you'll want to see and what your friends might want to see. So, you know, you think that you're doing something just for yourself. You actually touch maybe 10 people, if not 100, every time you interact on Facebook. So yes, social engagement is really where it's at. All right. Dana, we're going to talk about our favorite thing.
Yes, we are. We're going to talk about membership bundles. Now, I know that you guys are probably the experts on this. So if you have something that you bundle with your membership, or somehow that you bundle your membership, please put it in the chat. We are here to share, and we want to make sure everybody has all the great ideas so they don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'll give you a couple of ones that I can think of off the top of my head. I guess the most common used one is our family bundle, and we want to engage all members of the family. So we can add our membership types. Now, the state has 4 membership types, as you all know, in your bylaws. We have the standard, additional family members, teacher, staff, and student. So you have a fee associated with each of those types in your bylaws. So you have to make sure that you stick, with those fees, because that's what's been voted on by your association. So if you're bundling, making a family bundle for 2 members, it would be your standard membership fee plus your additional family membership fee. And that would be the fee that you would charge in your, as you create the bundle on Member Hub. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be just memberships that you bundle. You could bundle it with a donation. You could bundle it with a discounted gift offer, a discounted purchase offer. You could make it, you come up with some crazy names. I mean, people were asking on social media, well, what is it called? Well, it can be called whatever you want it to be called. Make it fun. Make it something that relates to your mascot, or, some fun name that you can relate to in your community. It doesn't have to be just family bundle. It can be whatever you want it to be. So be creative. You can add a logo to it, so it stands out on your store. You can even add more than one picture if you like. So if you have, particular gift with purchase item, you can add that. You can call it a gold level membership, and maybe it includes a donation of a certain level. Maybe it's platinum, and it's, you get to be, I don't know, make up something. Teacher of the, no, we can't have you be teacher of the month. Principal for a day, no. But you know what I mean. You can add something fun in there that they could receive if they purchase the bundle. So if you have bundle ideas, please put them in the chat. But that's the kind of things that we can do in Member Hub and make it really easy to offer these types of things to your members to join. But always remember, you should always have the standard available, so that if they just want to join with your standard membership fee, they have that ability. And then all these other things can be additional items that they can choose from. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anybody else have anything to add in our fun little group here?
We'd be called Eagle members. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, right? Just something. I've seen some really creative ones. I can't think of off the top of my head, but creative ones that relate to, their school pride and, things in their community. So I think it'll be fun to see what people come up with. And they work too. Trust me, they grow membership. We have proof positive with our success stories that having bundles and promoting membership to all members of the family absolutely works. And doing it online absolutely works. So go for it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Dana. All right, so next up, we're going to be talking about a little bit how to boost your membership in the community or the business. Jen?
Oh, hi, everyone. So I'm on the membership team, but I'm also president of my unit. So this is something that I'm very interested in as well. And I've been thinking about it lately, ways to get more community involvement. And I think in typical years, we go to our local businesses and ask for donations for different events. But, seeing over the past year and a half, things have changed. So I think it's a good opportunity to visit businesses and to ask for membership in particular, because that's something that they can donate at a very low price. I know for me, we have several schools in our district, and sometimes I hear from people or businesses, well, I've already, donated to X, Y, and Z school already, and it can be hard. But I think if something like this slide shows, if you offer a membership and make a like a coupon booklet for sale to members in your school, or as a donation when they become a member, that I think it's a really good incentive. One of the things that I found out personally was that if you ask people in your school, they might have an association with the school. So for example, when my children were in the elementary school, I found out that a major coffee shop in town had gone to the school as well, and they were willing to donate free coffee to one of our breakfasts. So I think if you ask and say, does anyone have an affiliation with the school? Maybe their aunts or uncles went to the school, or cousins, and they're very willing to become members. Another thing that you can do is offer certificates. So if they become members, then they can post that in their windows. And me personally would want to frequent that business knowing they're a member of my PTA. Other things that you can do is you can set up a table at your child's sporting events. You can talk. So a lot of times parents run these sporting groups. So, they might be very happy to let you have a membership table there at a game, You can go to your local library, ask if you can put a banner up or a sign up to join your PTA. You could ask your local grocery store. It doesn't have to be a chain store, but it can be. In my community, we have a small produce shop that they get included in their bags. Another idea is to also look at your local business leaders and ask for their support to become members. And just getting back to the social media aspect, when businesses do become members, you can tell them that you'll post it on your Facebook page saying that such and such bookshop or clothing store, they become members of our PTA, and it's something that you can frequent, and I think people will be more willing to do that. So I think there are incentives for businesses to join, and just be a little creative to ask.
I agree 100%. Businesses love nothing more than to be able to show off how their involvement in the community might be impacting their clients' children or their family or people in the area. And thank you, Jen. I mean, that was exactly what I think everybody needed to hear about, what they can do with some of the businesses in their community. So here are some, big tips about ways to grow your membership. So we know that last year, I should say, was not ideal, but we found that a lot of people had different ways of approaching their membership. One of the things that they thought about was offering a discounted event to PTA members. I'm not sure how many of you do this already, and we know it might be a virtual world next year, but our unit, for example, did a virtual paint night, and people had to pay for their supplies, and if you were a PTA member, you got a discount on that. A lot of people would prefer to become a member over paying for supplies. That might be something that's attractive to them. We are opening the chat. So as we talk, please feel free, if you've done this in your unit, to let us know. We'd love to hear about it. Have a collection box in the school office with membership forms and an envelope to make joining easy. People want easy. They want to know how to find something quickly. If they have to think 1 or 2 steps more, it's over. So we want to make it as easy as possible. So what kind of signs and flyers are you guys making in your units to make sure that if a parent has to go into the school office, it's easy for them to find this? If you're able to go into the school and there is a kindergarten event, you want to make sure that you're there. You're, interacting with the parents that you're going to be seeing throughout the year. Put a poster in the staff lounge. If you can't physically be there, you could ask maybe the principal to help you out with this, because again, teachers are our biggest advocates and members. So when they see the poster in their room, it might entice them to join quickly. You're going to want to have students speak to school events. I've heard some schools, some units, they have some children that are members, and a lot of them happen to belong to their student council. So they'll present a report at the PTA meeting. It'll talk about what they've been doing, what they've been up to, and all kids like to talk and explain what they're doing. And if they're shy, maybe another kid might be able to, but at the very least, involve them so that the students can be a part of this. I do want to mention something that I found out that was very cool. I'm not sure if you guys realize this or not. Speaking of algorithms, they're always updating. Dana had mentioned use a QR code that links to your online store. At this time, if you right click, I'm not sure if you can see it on my screen. Do you see my right click? If you don't, I'll just continue. If you right click on your screen, there is an option for you to create a QR code for that page. So, in the past, you would have had to go to a site, Many a time I've created it elsewhere. You can create it direct here now, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, oh, I'm going ahead of myself. Excuse me. All right. So now, if you're doing a big event, you know, you want to get some media coverage so that they can know about it. People can advertise your event that's going on, even if it's something that's virtual. You want to get people talking about what your school is doing and how they're impacting your community. You want to send information more than once in different languages. If your school is predominantly Asian or Hispanic, or, you know, of a different descent, and they speak something other than English, you know, we want to make sure that we're communicating with everyone and not just a select few. So you want to make sure that you're using different languages for the flyers that you have available. Quite a few of the flyers that you find in the toolkit are already converted for you. And I believe if you need a specific language, Dana, correct me if I'm selling the right thing, we would be able to get that translated for you.
That's correct, Mary. They can actually send any document that they want translated to the email, and I'm putting it in the chat now, translation@nyspta.org, and we can do that for you with our contract services.
Awesome. Because I don't know about you, but word translation never comes out the way that I think. It just always sounds awkward. So that's an awesome support that we have at the New York State level. You're going to want to include PTA membership and program information regularly with any newsletters that you're sending out. If you're sending information, put the membership in there. Sometimes people do not see it. They didn't get to it, or they're going to join next month. They just need a little reminder. So just make sure that the membership sign up information is always a part of any information that you're sending out to your parents for the year. And lastly, you know, I'm always going to drive this home. I think surveys are the bedrock of everything that you do. In order for us to grow, in order for us to understand what's needed. How many of you have heard, but this is the way we've always done it, right? I know a few of us have heard that. And that doesn't necessarily need to be what's done this year. And in order for you to have that solid proof of, hey guys, we need to change, adjust, or you know what, our parents really like this, you can do an easy survey at the end of the year or in the beginning of the year. All right, guys, so we wanted to make sure that we left you with the places where you can get some resources. You have your membership toolkit. You have your How to Virtual PTA, which is going to be very important this year, and your PTA success stories. Below, if you'll notice, there's something called a memo. Does everybody see this? Did everybody see it? Okay. Our wonderful Jennifer Tulo, she actually came up with this, our a membership monthly. We've changed our newsletter name, so now it's called the Memo. So you're going to want to make sure that you check out the Memo every month. We're going to be giving you tips. We're going to be giving you tricks. We're going to be telling you all the things that are happening with membership and in the organization that's going to help you grow your membership. I believe we'll be adding a link in the chat just in case you didn't see last month's. We do have some awesome, phenomenal tricks in there that you're going to want to take advantage of. All right. So we are going to be going over very briefly some of the new awards that we have and some of the existing awards that we have that you might be familiar with already. We have our Savvy Membership Award. All the descriptions for all of these awards are going to be listed on the website. They're all going to be very clear, just like here. It's going to tell you, you know, what dates they're going to be happening, what you need to pre-qualify. And in this particular booklet, what we like to include is also a little snippet, like, did you know 60 units won this last year? It's important to know that even in the midst of you know, a little bit of turbulence, we were still doing some big things. We have our Early Bird Award, which is something that everybody should be familiar with, and it's starting in September. I'm sure quite a few of you are making plans to get your membership revving and going this year. And your Early Bird Award is going to be something that'll help you. The things that we're going to create for you to use to promote this on Facebook or by email or in the membership newsletter, you're going to want to look out for. So one of the new awards that we have this year is our On Target Award. With this particular award, you're going to have to make sure that you reach a minimum of 25 members to earn the new Target Award. Can you tell me how many of you were able to hit 25 members in your unit? We're going to give everybody a second to put a high five or a smiley face or something just to let us know. Me too. 25 members is staff, principal, and your PTA unit. I think most of us can accomplish that, and we want to make sure that you strive for it. And that's the On Target Award. And you'll be hearing a lot more about this in the upcoming year. We've got another one. It's called the Trailblazer Award. This is also a brand new award. So we've already established, bless you, Nicole. I know you're on mute, but I saw it.
It's trying to be like
The Trailblazer Award is for those of you who reach 75% of your membership goal this year. You're going to want to accomplish this in October. And again, all of the things that you associated with this particular award are going to be listed online and in this booklet. And this is an exciting award. We have our Student Rocks Award. Student health is going to be paramount for us next year. I don't know about you, but my kids, as strong as they are, this year was very difficult for them. And we have some amazing student members in our New York State PTA that are doing some incredible things. And we also have some students that are members in your units. So you're going to want to make sure to reward them by shouting them out and making sure that you have at least 30% of your total membership as students. You can have any students that are a part of your membership that are old enough to sign their name, we say can be your member. And we have our Great PTA Day. Patty, I think you're best at explaining this. Go ahead.
Thanks, Mary. So last year in February, we held our first Great PTA sign-up day as a way just to capture some of our members that hadn't had a chance to join yet, and also to celebrate our Founders Day. So because this is a very special year for PTA, we are entering our 125th year of as an association. We're actually kind of bookending our Great PTA sign-up days. So November usually marks the time for us to hold our New York State PTA convention, which, as many of you probably are aware, New York State PTA is really where the founding members of PTA started the conversation, and we were the first state Congress for PTA. So we're celebrating the 125th state convention in November, and then it will be bookended by the February celebration of Founders Day, the 125th. So we're using this November PTA sign-up day as an opportunity for us to reach out to members who haven't had a chance to join yet. We have set a goal statewide of 5,125 members. Again, we just want to keep tying into that 125th year. And we are going to be on social media all day. Those of you that were here last year know that we were participating. We had my favorite tool of showing your membership goal. We had a thermometer, and that we were showing it throughout the day with our goal. And I'm happy to say that we broke a few thermometers at our last sign-up day. So really what we're going to be doing here is to encourage everybody to do a really almost like final ask. We want everybody to get as many members as they can in by the end of October, but November really to reach out and finally say, if you haven't had a chance to join, today's the day we want you to do that. show your support not only for our local unit, but for this great association that is now nationwide and actually in several countries internationally. That will be on social media, and we encourage you to be on social media. We're hoping that some of the regions come up with their own challenges throughout the day, or some prizes or contests or that type of thing. But it really turned out to be a very fun day of just reaching out and supporting members across the state. So we encourage everybody to mark their calendars for that, and think about what your own social media or local drive will be to contribute members. And we'll be tracking the members. Of course, that's the beauty of Member Hub. We'll be able to track the members as they're registered, so that we can report throughout the day, not only how many members we have, but where they're coming from. So we can, we want to do a shout out to all of you as you add members. So please, we hope you participate in that.
That was awesome, Patty. Thank you so much. We have something in the chat that I wanted to talk to really quickly. It says, does anyone have any advice for making the PTA more attractive and inclusive in a diverse school where the parent groups have traditionally been dominated almost exclusively by white parents, and where we've always done it like this? Oh, I love that sentence, is a pretty common sentiment. I see the diversity, equity, and inclusion tools on the website, but I wonder if there is any guidance from members who have success becoming more equitable and inclusive as a unit. I'm going to make sure that all of us in our group give you a quick answer, but I do want to share with you something that I totally believe. Diversity starts at the head. If you want your membership to be more diverse, your board needs to be diverse. And diversity doesn't mean color necessarily. You need to have a male on your board. You want to have all kinds of different parents, not just the same parents that you always have. And I know that we say it's very difficult because, you know, Mary's always on the board. She's always done this and we can count on her. But we want to reach out to other people and say that their voice is important. Once you see more people on your board, in your committees that look different, your attractiveness to other parents are going to be increasing. I hope that answers your question a little bit, Christiana, excuse me. How about you, Renee? Do you have any advice for this particular topic?
Yeah, so the best piece of advice I could be is for you to go get them. I think there's a lot of hesitation from the other groups, and they tend to, because of the environment, they tend to keep themselves back. So whatever you're looking to bring into your circle, I think you need to be not accountable. That's not the right word. Not responsible, but basically to take action yourself and go seek out these people, go to their meetings and say, hey, we need somebody from here. Hey, we need somebody from there, for you to go to them.
Yeah, I agree, Renee. You're absolutely right. Patty, what about you? What do you think?
So I was just typing into the chat, and as slow as typist as I am. So I actually, with the Diversity, Inclusion, and Outreach Committee a couple of years ago, we presented a workshop at Summer Leadership that was called Rethink Your Hospitality Committee. You know, hospitality used to be the way to bring people into PTA. It used to be like one of the gateway chairmanships into becoming a more active part of the PTA. And the reason for that was because the hospitality chair always used to have to come early with the executive committee, and then they would kind of hear and be around and kind of get in on the conversation. So my real belief is not so much hospitality for refreshments any longer, but hospitality is to start making the connections. So if we can get somebody who's willing and has that the skills to make the connection with people, be at the door, be the person to welcome and greet people and bring them to a seat at the table, literally a seat at the table. Oh, here, thank you so much for coming. My name is this, who are you? My children are here, your children are there. Oh, so-and-so has children in that class. Why don't you come and sit with her or him, however. So I think that it's all about you telling your story, everybody sharing their stories and allowing people to come in and share their story. So I think live, that's great. Virtual, it presents a little bit more of a challenge, but we can still have somebody be a greeter at a virtual meeting, at a virtual event. We have the other tools of Zoom that you can use, like polls and questionnaires and those type of things. And if you as that person can direct those polls and those questions to try to bring out the diversity that you have in your unit, that can also go a long way to making people feel welcome.
And Mary, I just wanted to add to also that I've heard of such wonderful events at some of our PTAs where they have different cultural events and they embrace all the different foods and different cultures that are represented in their community. And they have these events where they share the recipes, or they share the food, or they share something about their cultures. And I think the more that people feel welcomed, the more that they'll want to participate. So I think you have to sometimes have those kinds of events to bring people in, to make them feel a part of everything that's going on. And so I think it just takes a little bit of initiative, to get those kinds of things going, and then it spirals from there. So I mean, that's at least what I've heard as far as the good types of events in other areas.
Yeah, I've seen this on a level of where people even dress up with their country's, colors or costumes, or, their native outfits and stuff. And it gets really beautiful to watch. Jen, did you have anything you wanted to add as a unit president?
Well, I feel that, children in a way are very universal. So when there are events that kids want to go to, like, I feel like appealing to the children in the school is a big thing, because if they want to do something, I feel like they'll get their parent involved. And then that's an opportunity for us as, to get members to join at those types of events. And for me, my school is a Title I school, so we have a large Hispanic community, and we always would ask a member of the staff who could speak Spanish to be with us at a table if we were trying to get members, and it was so helpful. So because I feel it's very intimidating when you come to a school event and you don't necessarily speak the language. And the other thing is that I think that sometimes we feel afraid to ask because we're not sure, maybe they can't afford it. Or I had a teacher, my daughter is in a dual language class, and the teacher would speak Spanish during like a parent teacher night, and she would speak to English half the time in Spanish, and then would say to the Spanish community, well, if you can give the money. But then to the other families would say, well, you need to give this much. So I think that's terrible. We all want to support our children, so just ask. Don't be afraid to say, we want your support, and that makes you feel like we're all part of something together. We're not excluding or changing the rules for one particular group.
Totally on board with that, John. I agree. All right, so we're gonna hop back into our membership playbook here. And as questions come in, we will stop, discuss for a little bit. So please feel free to put them in the chat. So next up, we have our Teacher Appreciation Award. Our Teacher Award, Super Teacher Staff Award, I should say, which we have every year. And all the requirements are here as well. And this is something that you can find online. Last year, 21 units won this award. So I fully hope that we can double our efforts this year and have 42 units win this award this year.
Mary, I just wanted to chime in here real quick on that teacher staff award. I think there were some units who actually would have qualified if they had just filled out that one field on the Member Hub unit
Oh,
data
no.
screen where, where they have to tell us their number of school employees. So it's the only field they can edit, and we need them to give us that number so we can calculate. So we want to make sure that they earn the award that they have fought so hard for and worked so hard for. So please go into your Member Hub and put that number of school employees in that field, and we will give you that award because we know you're working towards it.
Exactly. Everybody likes a little good competition, right? Especially me. And I remember when I used to see in one of our schools in the district that they had all these awards, I was like, what are we doing? Why aren't we getting these awards? It's important that when you win these awards, you show them, you make sure you broadcast them everywhere, because parents want to belong to a school that they know is active, that they know is doing things, and they're supporting their staff. So this is one of those good ones that you want to pay attention to, and make sure when you receive it, you put it all over the place. All right. And we have a Founders Day award. This award is very important, as Patty had mentioned. Our founders are why we're here. We had 100 units win this award last year. And again, every single thing that has to do with any of these awards, be it the date, the amount that you could win, where you can find it is on our New York State website. We are going to be having an additional sign-up day in February. Patty, did you want to chat about this?
Sure. I'm really excited about this because we are actually doing sign-up day on the actual Founders Day, February 17th. So that's so fabulous, celebrating the 125th year. Our goal for the day is 1,250 members. Last year, our very first time, we reached just over 1,000 members. And what we're going to be doing this time in celebration of the 125th year, we are going to randomly select 125 of our new members who are signed up in that day, and they're going to receive a very special, small token of our appreciation, but it is a limited edition 125th PTA anniversary item. So very excited about that. So one more thing that can help you promote the day. And then in the spirit of Founders Day, because really what happens with Founders Day is PTA got started because two women sent out the word about asking people to come and support. We're going to take the same model and ask every member that we have to think about asking one new member to join. Reach out to one person that you think believes also in the mission of PTA and have them join that day. On the flip side, we had a lot of requests for this last year, and so we've woven this into this event, and that is people wanted to, that already were members, but they weren't sure they knew somebody who was a potential new member. They wanted to just donate a membership and let the unit select the recipient of somebody that they knew. So we are going to be setting that up to help out with building membership that day. Again, we'll be live throughout the day on social media. President Dana Platon will be giving us updates throughout the day. We'll be hearing from some of the other governance team members, our executive director, Kyle. There'll be a lot of great messaging going on. We encourage you to share our messages. We encourage you to be on live on Facebook. That's not something that's in my wheelhouse, but I'm learning as I go along how to make those little videos and add them onto Facebook. So it's just one more learning tool that also will have a benefit. So we want this really to be a statewide event that everybody is recognizing PTA celebrating 125th year.
Awesome. Thank you, Patty. All right, so we're going to have our Male Engagement Award. One thing I did want to mention about this particular award is it's a self-nominating award. So if you know that your unit has achieved at least 20% male membership, please fill out the applications for this award. This award is going to be held in March, And again, we're going to be doing a lot of promotion around every award that we have available. But this particular one, you're going to want to pay attention to because it's a self-nominating award. You would have to fill out a very short application. I believe it's name, unit, right, Dana? I believe it's very short. And once you're
Super
done,
short.
yeah, we'll know that your unit is something that we should be looking at. And 2 random winners will be selected from all the achievers to win a $25 PTA store gift certificate. There's a lot of cool things on the PTA store, so those are very, very valuable. I feel like Vanna. Tell them what else you've won. We have the Gold Apple Awards, the Growth Awards. I don't know about you, but when I first started, I didn't really understand this. I was just trying to figure out, what is this Apple thing? This is the culmination of the year. So if your unit, has been really doing their thing, you can achieve gold level status, silver level status, or bronze level. And at the gold level, you have a chance of achieving the highest growth statewide. And at that point, you can possibly win $300 in cash prize. All of this would be due by May 31st. So by May 31st, your state, your national dues, everything for membership needs to be in by May 31st in order for you to qualify for this particular award.
Mary, if I could just jump in here on the Good
Yeah.
Apple Awards. I don't know if any of them are on the call tonight, but our 3 top winners of the Good Apple Award Gold level were actually from regions, both Northeastern and Southeastern. So just a shout out to any of them if they're on the call tonight or on the Zoom. Johnstown Junior Senior High School PTSA from Northeastern, 239% growth. South Colony Special Ed PTA, also from Northeastern at 142%, and from Southeastern Janesville Elementary School PTA came in second with 165%. So obviously that's why we started with you as our group tonight, because we have a lot of success stories here in this area.
Thank you, Patty.
And if you're on any of those units, put it in the chat so we can congratulate.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of success stories, last year, we thought it was really, really important for us to share all of our success stories throughout the state. So we put together a page. And on this page, you're going to be finding all the things that certain units were doing to really, really be successful in membership and all around, really. If you look at this, click on this link, you'll be able to be directed straight to our success stories page. But in addition, we'd like to ask something of you tonight. If you have not read a story or seen anything with regards to your unit, and you know your unit has done something fantastic, but it hasn't been shouted out or screamed from the rooftops, please click on this link. Below the title, you will see another link that will allow you to write in your success stories, and it'll come straight to us so that we can celebrate with you. So please, we ask, if you have something that you want to share, click on this link and let us know about it. You might be in our next newsletter.
And
With
then
that
Mary,
being, yeah.
I was going to say, Mary, too, we are actually having new success stories. And if you'll notice on social media, Renee is going to be highlighting every other week a new success story. So we're very excited about just continuing to celebrate and showcase all of our PTAs, because we know they're doing great work, and we just love to see that.
Right. So thank you, Dana. So with that, it concludes our short presentation here. I just wanted to reiterate how happy I was that you guys were able to come and join us tonight. We wanted to give you some short tips, dirty tricks, just to get your membership going. And as always, If you ever need anything from us, we're always here to help. My name is Mary Sotomayor. If we haven't met yet, I'm the membership coordinator. Some of you have heard from Renee. Renee, go ahead. Yeah, that's our membership engagement specialist. And we have our marketing specialist, which is Jennifer Tulo. Go ahead, Jennifer. Give a little hi. There we go. We have Mike Keene, who's our male engagement specialist. And honestly, all of us, if you ever need any help, we had something recently where someone needed help with getting more male engagement going. He emailed myself, he emailed Mike, and we answered them right away. So we definitely are here to help if you need us. And we have our fabulous, fantastic, the two that we couldn't do anything without, our DO, which is our designated officer, Patricia Frazier, and we have the fabulous, the wonderful membership manager, Dana Welch. So at this point in time, I believe we're going to open it up to any questions you may have. If you wanted to post a comment or ask a question, please place it on the chat and we'll make sure to answer anything you'd like to talk about.
Mary, I'd like to jump in. First off, I want to thank you for putting this presentation tonight. We have, you know, a sizable group, but we could certainly do some live unmuting chats if you'd like. But I just wanted to share, as a former membership chair for unit, I was also the Regent membership chair, and really membership has been my passion. Somehow I got on this treasurer path, which is a little different. But I just want to also mention one of the great tools that I think we have provided on our toolkit is the ability to make the goal thermometer. It is something that I wished for when I was a membership chair. And I think that one of the things that we like to do with our units is, you know, kind of just say, okay, who wants to become a member this year? And that's what we do. But I think that a lot of people just say, oh, well, so-and-so joined or somebody else joined this year. I think if we put it out there, and this is kind of the world we're living in today, people need to see something. They need to understand what the goal is. And so by letting people know our goal is this, we need everybody on board to help us reach that goal. I think it speaks a lot to the world that we live in today, where people are busy and they have a lot going on. But if we just flat out give the facts and say, hi, this is X PTA, and we're looking to have 150 members this year, will you be one of them? And the thermometer just showing that as a community that you achieved a goal together, I think really goes a long way for positive vibes for the PTA.
Agreed, 100%. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, oh, I would have totally joined if they asked. Yeah, you think you've asked, but a lot of people still don't realize that you're talking to them. So make sure that whatever avenue you use, whether it's social media, paper, or just, you know, the old school face-to-face, make sure to ask them, you know, make sure that they feel included, that they know that you want them to be there. This is in no way a clique. We want to make sure that everybody understands that they have a place in PTA and their voice is valuable.
And Mary, just to piggyback on what you just said, I think nowadays, after what we all went through last year, having multiple ways to reach people and for them to be able to participate is going to be key. I mean, we're not going to see everyone in person. We're going to see people online. There's going to be people who want to participate virtually. Let's give them the opportunity. Let's give, and I said this to someone today, I can't even remember who I was talking to. One of the units called me, and I love having these conversations, but she was saying that, you know, people were like, well, I don't really want to, you know, I really don't have time to volunteer and this and that. And I said, well, please let them know their membership is the most important thing. They don't have to give anything more than just to join. yes, of course, we need volunteers to support and do the activities that you want to, and the advocacy that you want to do in your local unit. But the main objective is we need membership to advocate for our children. There's nothing more important than actually becoming a member. And she really kind of I felt like she really took that home, and she really took that to heart. And I think it'll help her in her membership efforts going forward. So please don't forget that. I mean, just what we really need is for people to know they can join, and they can just join if that's all they can manage.
Agreed. And, I'm going to say something a little controversial, but you might have to work it backwards. When you become passionate about something, it's when you've been working on it. So if they're not members, the surefire way to make them members is include them on a special task, whether it's pumpkin patch or, figuring out something that's going on in your unit that, you're not happy about, and getting their voice and opinions, getting them involved and making them understand that this group is here so that we can be the voice for our kids. They will join, sometimes you got to work it back.
I also liked, Mary, one of the first things you told me when I met you was how your husband got involved. And it was almost like a competition between him and yourself to see who could get the most members. And I just thought that was the funnest thing I'd ever heard.
It was a sad day.
No, but it was so
he beat
nice.
me so nice.
But how great is that? I mean, how great is that for people to see him involved? And I can actually see my husband doing it too. He's in the other room. He's like, "Oh, please don't volunteer me." But he's so sociable. I mean, he's a social being. So I can just see him thinking that's a whole, competition worth having.
Oh, I have to tell you guys, my husband and one of my good friends' husbands sat at a table and said, "You guys, you don't know what you're doing. We got this." And they got 50 members that day. And it was so funny because it wasn't that they got members for the PTA. It was, look, we did better than you guys. We're like, you guys can do better than this every day. That's great. But they felt useful, They built our mailbox. We have a PTA mailbox where, all our mail comes through, and the kids got to do a ribbon cutting ceremony when we presented it. That was the dads in our school, the male body of our school. And it doesn't have to be dads, it could just be father figures, uncles, it can be grandpas. Everybody wants to be a part of something if they know what you need them to do. We just need to be specific with the guys sometimes. Put them in front of a table.
That's very true. Give them a task and they will conquer it.
I have the picture. I'm going to put it in one of my presentations so you guys can see.
That'll be great.
So does anybody have any other questions? Anything else that they were hoping that we could talk about with membership? Something that's happening in your unit specifically that you'd love to shed light on? To the RDs that we have on the presentation, we'd love to open it up to you guys to say hello and introduce yourself to those of us who don't know you yet.
Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Nicole.
I am Nicole Peretta. I am the Leatherstocking RD. We have 34 units that are all going to do phenomenal this year, I have a feeling. And we, not to make anybody jealous, but we get to have Renee as part of our region board. So I am seriously very lucky. And I could not ask for a better prior RD and membership chair.
You're stoking the competition juices, Nicole. Who wants to go next? I can't see everybody. If you
So
are,
I think that Nicole is our RD that was able to join.
Okay, great.
And then we just have two of our RMCs.
Yeah, let's get our
So we
RMCs
want
introduced.
to skip over to them.
Yes, please.
All right, Renee, you're up.
Okay, I am Renee Daniels from Leatherstocking. I am the region membership chair, and I also serve on the membership committee as the membership engagement specialist. And I have a lot of fun with membership. I've loved it. Did it at the unit level. I've been doing it for a number of years, and I'm ready to help our units.
Renee, could you put into the chat box the email that you would want Leatherstocking units to use to contact you?
Okay.
Because I know you have a few different ones. And then also we have our RMC, Jerry.
Hurry.
Yep. I'm Jerry Lahane. I am the RMC for Northeastern region, and I've been a unit membership chair for high school, middle school, and elementary school. High school is most difficult sometimes, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this year to help everybody out.
Great. And Jerry, you'll also put your special email in for us, right?
Yes, I
And
will.
don't think, there's a couple of cell phones, and I'm not sure if one of them is Corinne. If not, we'll have to get that for the, I'm sure the Southeastern region will share that with their units. Corinne Ria is the Southeastern RMC. So lots of people to help, but one of the things we want everyone to know is, you can create your own membership campaign. We have all these tools available for you. We are going to be sharing at some point soon a folder of graphics for you to use on your social media, so you don't have to create your own, but you're welcome to, obviously. As I mentioned earlier in the chat, please tag us, New York State PTA, on some of your social media posts, because we're always looking for content to share as well. So you can share our things. We'd be happy to share your success stories, and whatever your positive posts are, because other people across the state will learn from them and can use them as well. So we really want everyone to feel that this membership drive, this membership campaign, especially this year, celebrating 125, is really an effort from all of our units across the state. Even though our challenges of COVID, shall we say, from last year, maybe didn't bring us as many members as we usually have. We do know we were very successful when we compare our numbers nationally. We were the largest state in our grouping of largest states. We had the lowest decrease, so we take that as a win. So we know we were doing the right things last year. We know that our units were still doing everything they could to bring about membership to an important level, and we're going to just be able to build on that this year. So again, on behalf of the executive committee and President Dana Playton, who had another meeting tonight with National and couldn't join us, I want to thank everybody for their efforts, either from last year and what we've already done this year. And I don't know if anybody's on from, and I hope I'm saying this right, Jerry, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, Giffen Memorial?
No, nobody's on from Giffen.
Well, congratulations to them, because they've already exceeded their goal for this year, and they're keep
wow.
going from here. So lots of good things are already happening with membership.
They're busy getting members, Patty. That's why they're not on.
Yeah, they're busy getting members. So again, thank you to everybody for moving us forward. And we're here to help always. We do a lot in Canva, so it's an addictive tool. But if that's something that you're looking for help with, please let us know, and we can maybe make some arrangements for that, because I'm thinking that might be a good help for people on social media.
Absolutely. And guys, I did want to leave you with one last thing tonight. I don't know about you. I don't know how many of you are new here, but when I first started, I didn't know who to go to ask for help. My president was fairly new, really didn't do much with membership. And as I said to Patty, it was like the blind leading the blind. Do you know anything? No. Do you know anything? No. We are very fortunate. You have some RMCs, some really awesome RMCs and RDs that are willing and able to help. So if you need help, if you need ideas, your first line of defense is going to be your RMCs. So you're going to want to reach out to them and make sure that you communicate with them about your needs, what would help you to make your units better, and communicate with them just to let them know what you guys are doing. If you're doing some awesome things, we want to know about that too. So again, thank you for coming on this call with us. We hope you learned some things today. And if you were shy and didn't want to put a message in the chat, feel free to email us with any questions you might have.
Thank you, everyone. This was so fun.
Thank you and good night.
Good night, guys.